Hey everyone, how are you doing tonight? I am just getting a little tea ready. If you want to know, it's pomegranate raspberry, a little bit of stash. I've been on coaching calls today, so I want to just make sure that my voice holds up after all the lives that I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of talking, and I might try and record a podcast episode after this. But I was asking myself, what does the collective need to hear? And what came through very clearly when I was getting my tea ready was that we need to have a conversation about who you're being. Because I know that you've heard 1,000,001 times that who you're being is really what you're manifesting from. It's not about what you want. It's about who are you being. When you actually pay attention to who you're being in manifestation, that is when your entire life changes. And that's why the conversation of self-concept has blown up so much and become so important in the manifestation community. Because your self-concept is really not only who you identify as, but what you identify with. And when you understand that you have an identification with everything, and it's either you see yourself and identify yourself with that thing, or you don't identify with it at all. And when you see yourself and identify yourself as having something, as normalizing it, that is when you manifest quickly because there's no resistance. Whereas when manifestation seems like it's taking a long time, it is because of the fact that you don't identify with the thing that you're trying to manifest. You don't identify as a person who has that in their reality. You don't identify as somebody who already has it. You don't identify as it being easy. So it's so much deeper than just than just identification. It's really about how are you identifying with the thing that you desire. Because if you want to manifest money, but you feel like manifesting money is hard for you and you don't see yourself as somebody that can easily manifest money, then manifesting money isn't going to be easy for you because you don't identify as somebody that can easily manifest money. You don't identify as somebody that has a lot of money. And this is the same with everything. If you're trying to manifest love, but you don't identify as somebody who manifests healthy, loving people that manifest good partners, then love is going to be something that you have a lot of resistance around. The identity is really the overarching piece of manifestation. And when you understand that, when you look at not only just your identity, but you look at the thing that you are calling in to manifest and your identification with that thing, when you look at who you are and who you are in relation to the thing that you desire to manifest, that is when you have such a clear indication of the work that you have to do. Because a lot of people feel like they just can't grasp manifestation, and it feels like they're almost like juggling all of these balls, and when they drop one ball, it all just falls. And it's like manifestation is just like everything. It leaves clues. And when you start understanding how manifestation works, rather than just trying this method and that method and listening to that creator and doing what this book tells you, but like actually understanding how it works and how it applies for you, because manifestation is just like anything. You can learn how to do it consciously by paying attention to how it has worked in your life, by paying attention to how other people are doing it. When you look at someone who has a healthy relationship with love and you say, well, what is their identity with it? You start getting clues, because then you say, well, what's my identity with it? And when you realize that your identity is the only thing that you really have to change, because your beliefs, your behaviors, the actions that you take, and the habits that you have daily, right? Because behaviors are things that you sometimes act on, but habits are something that you do day in and day out. And where I don't see a lot of people like putting the pieces together, and I just don't see a lot of people talking about this. Gaia is just on one right now. We're just going to let her go. Hopefully you can just still hear me. Hit the hearts if you can still hear me over her playing puppy mom life. But when you understand that your habits, and like this is the conversation that doesn't happen enough, is about how your habits really indicate who you are and what you've normalized. Gaia, can we like play with another toy or just settle? No? Okay, maybe. So when you understand, I thought I said demonistic. When you understand that your habits are so important because that's something that you're doing all day long, that's when you actually say, so are my habits in alignment with what I'm desiring to manifest, or am I being that person who's like praying to the universe for 15 minutes out of a day? I'm scripting for 15 minutes. I'm saying the affirmations for 15 minutes. I'm visualizing for 15 minutes. And then the rest of my day, I'm kind of just like waiting for the manifestation to show up. I'm actually doing the same old fucking shit that I've been doing every single day, and I'm not changing. I'm not changing the beliefs that I'm believing into. I'm not changing the behaviors that I have. I'm not changing the habits that I'm taking, the habits that I do daily. I'm not changing the actions that I'm taking. This is when you keep showing up as the same version of you that doesn't identify with the thing, because you aren't changing your identification. You aren't changing how you show up for your manifestation, because you're the only thing that has to change. It's nothing outside of you that has to change. And so many people focus on the outside, and they focus on what's going wrong, and they focus on what they don't have. But you can't manifest what you desire to have if all you're focusing on is that you don't have it. You cannot feel into the majority of the time like you already have the manifestation if all you're thinking about, if all you're speaking about, if all you're noticing is the fact that you don't have the thing, the lack of the thing. And if you're focusing on feeling into and thinking about and speaking about all day long that you don't have it, and then you're sitting in your house all day long just like waiting for something outside of you to change, like this will be the day that the money comes, this will be the day that the specific person comes, this will be the day that my career takes off, then that's when you're gonna go like 20 years without anything really changing in your life. I told you she's on one. I'm sorry, she's so loud. But this is where I find a lot of people are, instead of just like getting really, really honest, like this is what shadow work is, right? Like being fully accountable for who you're being. This is what personal development work is. I feel like a lot of people are trying to be at war with themselves and trying to manifest prosperity, love, happiness, joy, but they have chaos going on inside of them. And instead of looking at the chaos that's going on inside of them and doing the work to really shift that, so that way they feel differently, so that way they see themselves differently, so that way they think differently, so that way they can change their identity, because it's a lot easier to change your identity when you start doing the personal development work, right? Because when you just realize that you can be accountable for everything that's going on in your life, good or bad, because that's all just meaning that we apply. But when you actually take accountability for what's happening in your life, then that's when things are going to shift for you. Because even if you're in a situation that you don't like, even if you don't like your current identity, even if you don't like your current habits, even if you don't like the thoughts that you are thinking, you can change them. This is how manifestation works. I just sent my sister a video of a pig that was getting upset that his mom stopped feeding him vegetables, and he kept pressing the I want vegetables button, and she said no more, and he went in his room and he closes the door on her every time she says no more, and I think it's fucking hilarious. And now, that was less than 5 minutes ago, and now Gaia is walking around with just as much sass. So that's how manifestation works. But I need you guys to understand that like manifestation isn't as ethereal as you're making it out to be. There's a lot of practicality in manifestation. Even affirmations, right? Like affirmations aren't something that you sit in the mirror and you say 5 times a day, or you put sticky notes all over your room, or you write it down 3, 6, 9 times. Like that's not what it is. It's about, what are you affirming to yourself all day long? What are the thoughts that you're thinking to yourself all day long? What are you saying while you're out living your life, while you're out interacting with the universe? Are you saying that this is easy for you? Are you speaking about your life, and are you thinking about your life in a way that supports what you desire? Or are you continuing to think about your life the opposite of these affirmations that you're robotically affirming, but you're all day long not actually getting behind the manifestations? You're not actually being the version of yourself and having the identity for yourself all day long, where it's not that you have to say affirmations 15 minutes a day. You're being conscious of the words that you're thinking all day long, and you're being conscious of the thoughts that you're thinking. You're consciously aware of how you're feeling. You're noticing when the negative belief comes up, and instead of entertaining them and continuing to tell negative stories, you're shifting the belief. You're actively shifting who you're showing up as day in and day out. Gaia, can we just settle down for a little bit, please? We'll see. We'll see if we can settle down. I see somebody commenting multiple times. Let me see what some of the comments say. What does it mean? What does manifest mean? Typically, this is going to come from somebody who is a hater on manifestation, because, like, what are you doing here if you don't know what manifestation is? But I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that you're not one of those people. So manifestation means that you become the creator of your reality, and instead of expecting that life is happening to you and playing the victim for your life, it's you being able to work your thoughts and your energy and your expectations and your actions in alignment with the reality that you desire to have, and you actually taking your power back so you can visualize something. Gaia, stop. So that you can visualize something in your mind, and then you can actually bring it into your reality. Hold on, let me go put her downstairs because she's being such a brat. Go, Gaia. Go. Okay. I think people think manifestation is just a wish. It's a mindset shift. Exactly. That's exactly it. There's so many people that think that manifestation is just like praying to the universe for something to happen, and like it works for some people, and some people are lucky, and then some people it just doesn't work for, or sometimes it works and doesn't always work. They don't understand that it's a universal law and you've always been manifesting, but it's just you've been unconsciously manifesting what you don't want your entire life. And when it comes to consciously manifesting, you have to learn how to really get your thoughts in alignment and your feelings in alignment with the reality that you desire to live. It's not about praying to the universe and asking for something that you don't actually believe is possible for you. It's not about praying to the universe and hoping that it comes. It's not about this wishy-washy energy. I always say manifestation is about a decision. You have to decide what you want, and you have to decide who you need to be in order to get it, and then you actually have to become that person. It's not about this like passive thing where, oh, I'll just put this out to the universe, and if it comes, then it comes, and if it doesn't, then it doesn't. No, you are deciding that this is what you're available for. This is what you want in your life, and because this is what you're deciding you're available for, and this is what you're deciding that you get to have, you are doing whatever it takes to get it. I always use the example of when you are deciding that you want to have abs, or you're deciding you want to grow your booty, or you're deciding you want to be healthier. It doesn't mean that you get to be the same person that you've been. It doesn't mean that you get to keep eating the same crap. It doesn't mean that you get to keep drinking all the soda. Gaia, stop it. It means that you are looking at your habits and you're looking at your behaviors. Oh my God, she is like on one today. And then you actually change how you're showing up. If how you're showing up is this person that doesn't actually believe it's possible, if you're like playing the lottery and hoping that it works out, manifestation isn't like the lottery. It isn't like the lottery at all. Manifestation is you deciding what you get to have, and anything is possible for you. So because you decide that you get to have it, you do. And it's not about you trying to force the entire thing, but it's about you working on you. When you are manifesting, you need to know what you desire, you need to know why you want it, and you need to know who you need to be in order to get it. This is not going to be a live that I can put back up because she's being so fucking loud. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It is a mindset shift. It is about changing your mindset. It's about changing your habits. It's about changing your emotional intelligence. It is about doing the work on you. Okay, if she doesn't stop, I'm just gonna go. But we're gonna hope that maybe if I actually put her downstairs and close her, that she'll be okay. But yeah, it isn't playing the lottery. Manifestation isn't about playing the lottery. We all have the potentiality to manifest. We've all always been manifesting, but some people actually do the work to get into their subconscious mind to really shift. And then some people are just continuing to hope and pray for something, but they aren't actually looking at their beliefs behind it. They aren't actually looking at their identification with that thing. They aren't actually looking at how they feel about it. They aren't regulating their nervous system. And this is what makes manifestation take a long time. This is where all of the resistance comes from. Because if you aren't changing, your reality won't change. And because you've been taught in the matrix to force things from a lack frequency and from a lack mindset, and the more hard you work, then you're going to get things. But all that does is lead to burnout. All that leads is to stress. You don't need to work harder. You need to work smarter. You need to understand that if you just took more time paying attention to the thoughts that you're thinking all day long, if you just paid more attention to how you're feeling all day long, if you paid more attention to the words that were coming out of your mouth, this is how you actually shift quickly. By you cleaning up who you're being day in and day out. It's not about the manifestation methods. It's about who are you being all day long. And that is why people always tell you it's not about what you want in manifestation. It's about who you are, because the universe is responding to you. It's not responding to what you do 15 minutes out of the day. It's responding to your dominant vibration. It's responding to your identity. It's responding to your thoughts, to your feelings. We all have a frequency range that we're operating on. And a lot of people are operating from this lower vibrational range where they're just constantly thinking about worst case scenario, and they're thinking their worst thoughts about how things could go and about how things are going to be going for them, instead of realizing that every moment is an opportunity for you to shift. Every moment is an opportunity for you to show up differently. Every moment is a moment for you to release a limiting belief, for you to regulate your nervous system, for you to learn how to vibrate at a higher frequency. And that means processing your emotions. That means not really suppressing them and then repressing them. It means no longer ruminating through the thoughts. It's about you actually doing the work to change your subconscious beliefs. And your subconscious lives in your body as well, in your nervous system. So it's about regulating your nervous system so that way your beliefs and your body can get on board with this new identity and this new reality that you're creating for yourself. And it isn't like, yes, it is spiritual, and yes, it is esoteric, and yes, it is alchemical, and it's an art, but it's also very, very scientific, and it's also very practical. And I find that the people that fall into one camp where they're way, way, way esoteric about it, or the other camp where they're way practical about it, they're missing the balance of the masculine and the feminine energy that is needed to truly manifest. You have to learn that there's doing in manifestation, like taking action, following the aligned action, and actually like being serious about it, but there's also the mindset and the energetics behind it. And when you understand that this is the sweet spot, when you are getting your mindset right, when you're getting your energy right, and then you are receiving the downloads from the universe, and you're actually listening, you're actually following, you don't need to know all of the steps. You just trust that the universe is supporting you, and you do the work to get yourself in the right energy and in the right mindset every single day, so that way manifestation works for you, and it doesn't have to take a long time, because it really doesn't. But the only thing that is blocking you from manifesting your desires is the energy that you're playing into all day, is the identity that you're playing out, is the feelings that you're playing into all day long, and the thoughts. And it's like, once we start shifting these things, that's when we can see shifts quickly in our world. Like, my clients and students typically see a shift within 3 days, it's because I don't play in time. Like, I give you all of the teachings, I give you all the tools, and your life shifts quickly. And if you're like, well, how do I get in on this? Then get into my membership. It's literally $44 a month, and you get access to all of my programs that I teach you everything from the foundational information with the practical information. I give you hypnosis, guided meditations, breathwork practices. I help you regulate your nervous system, and I give you all of the fun stuff too. Like, there's a full moon workshop, and you get access to a group coaching call with me. It's next Tuesday. So it's like we're doing this together, and we're shifting together, and I've created one space where you get to learn everything that I've learned in the past 10 plus years of really going ham into manifestation and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't work. Like, it's not about all of the methods. Yeah, they can be fun and exciting, and I give you some of them, but it's really about understanding that manifestation is a mind, body, soul process. And that's why I have a psyche manifestation process where I teach you how to rewire your mind, how to regulate your nervous system, and how to recode your cellular DNA so that way you can vibrate with the frequency of your desire and become an energetic match to it, because you're able to hold these higher vibrational frequencies for longer. Started truly listening to what she was explaining, and I've had the best 2 days ever. Oh my God, Brianna, I love that. That makes me so, so, so happy, because I know that you've come on here and I know that you've had questions, but like, that's so awesome. Like, when you start like just letting it click and you start like really allowing like the wheels in your head to start like getting lubricated with the information, your life can really change so fucking quickly. And all it takes is the application. Like, it's not about learning more. It's not about scrolling on TikTok more. It's not about reading even more books. It's about like you learning the tools and really fucking applying the information, so that way you're actively feeling the shifts all day long. Because when you start doing the mindset work, when you start doing the frequency work, when you start doing the regulation work, you genuinely feel different. You genuinely feel better, and your entire life starts to change. And this is like literally what I love doing. So either come on my lives, binge all of my content, my free content, my podcast, my TikTok, my YouTube, or just fucking plunge and get into the membership, because your life will change quickly. Applied action that vibes with the frequency of the thing you desire. Exactly. That's where a lot of people get it wrong, because the Matrix has taught you to take action for something, maybe sometimes know what you want, but really take action because this is the only way you're going to get the thing, and you need to force it into fruition, and you need to work 18 hours a day, and you need to burn yourself out, and you need to be a cog in the wheel, and you need to do. But if you're taking action from a lack mindset, if you're taking action from a lack energy, then that's actually a self-fulfilling prophecy that's determining the results. Hard stop. The results of the thing that you're doing are determined by the mindset and the energy that you have while doing the thing. So if you have a crap mindset, and if you have low vibrational feelings going on and low expectations, you're not going to get great results. And the craziest thing is there are people that are getting insane results, and they're no smarter than you. They're no better than you. They're not any different than you. They aren't more privileged than you. They just actually started doing this stuff, and they're not working harder. They're actually working so little that it could frustrate a normal person working 40 plus hours a week, because they've started working smarter and not harder. And that means that they're working on their mindset and they're working on their energy. They're getting themselves in a place of alignment, and then they're allowing the universe to guide them on what their next step is, and they're trusting the universe, and they're going in that direction. And then they're taking aligned action, inspired action. They're following the downloads. It doesn't make logical sense, but if thinking logically got you a magical life, like, you wouldn't be trying to manifest all of these different things into your life. Logic will always block magic. And what you have to realize is it's so much more important for you to focus on your mindset and your energy before taking action, because you can literally shift all of the results just by you having a different mindset and just by you being in a different energy when you are taking the action. And that, like, when people start doing that, when they realize that it's not about having a morning routine to be like, well, I have to wake up at 5 a.m. because they told me that if I wake up at 5 a.m. I'm successful. And they told me that millionaires make their bed and they say that you got to drink this juice and then you got to do this and that. No, the morning routine isn't about adding more things to your to-do list so that way you wake up earlier. If you're somebody that wants to wake up early and you function better at 4 a.m., then fucking do it. But if you're somebody that wakes up at 9 a.m. and you function a lot better at 9 a.m., then do that. But what is important is that in the morning, before you start rushing into your day, before you start chugging all of the coffee, before you start looking at your to-do list, before you, God forbid, look at your phone, before you check your emails, that's where a lot of people go wrong, is they start their day in the exact same fucking energy and the exact same mindset that they ended their last day in. And that was the day before that and the day before that, and we could probably go back 5 years, maybe even longer. Same energy, same mindset. In the morning, when you're still in a theta brainwave state, this is when your subconscious mind is programmable. And this is very, very important if you want to learn to manifest, because that means that you're actually working smarter and not harder by being very intentional in the mornings with what you're doing, knowing that if you just take half an hour or an hour to yourself to read a book that is talking about things that you want to know about, whether it's manifesting money or manifestation or spirituality, something that's actually enriching your mind. If you take time to do breath work, if you take time to do EFT tapping, if you take time to meditate, if you take time to visualize, if you take time to script, it's not about the action that you're doing. It's about the mindset that you're getting yourself into and the energy that you're getting yourself into, and creating a practice where you are empowering yourself to be greater than your circumstances. Because this is where so many people struggle. They never empower themselves to be greater than their circumstances. They consistently, day in and day out, allow their circumstances to dictate their reality. Well, circumstances and reality, I guess, are the same thing. But their circumstances to dictate how they feel, their circumstances to dictate how they speak about themselves, their circumstances to dictate what they get to have, their circumstances. And one of the main questions is that when it's mentorships, when it's students, people in my community, Alexa, how do I detach? Alexa, how do I stop looking at my 3D so much? Alexa, like, how do I do this work? And it's like, you've got to take time to work on you. You've got to change the energetic state that you're in all day long. And the best way to do that is to start in the morning. And it's not like, here's the thing I need you to understand. It's not like you're going to do this one day and you're all of a sudden going to feel like somebody slipped you a roofie and you're feeling good in your body. Roofie's probably the wrong word, but like somebody gave you an edible and you're like feeling good. That's not what's going to happen. It's not like instantaneously you're going to feel like high as hell and like, oh my God, I feel like a different human. But what's going to happen is you're going to start doing this and then you're going to realize how much better you feel that day. Yeah, things are still going to happen. Yeah, you're still going to be technically living in your same life. Yeah, you're still going to be waking up in the same bed. But you're going to be waking up as a different person in that bed. You are going to be waking up as a different person in your circumstances. And the more time you can focus on you, on your inner world, on how you're feeling, how you're thinking, what you're visualizing on, getting clear on what you actually want to manifest, the more empowered you are in your life and the more empowered you feel going throughout your day. And this means that you aren't just going in the rat race and having this lack mindset and you always feel like you're behind and things aren't working out and nothing's changing. And then you get really attached to the 3D because you aren't giving yourself any attention in the internal world. And so all of your focus is on the external world. And when you're only focusing on the external world, that's when it's really hard to detach from it, right? But when you're actually spending the time to visualize the reality that you want to be living in, to visualize and feel into what it would feel like to have your manifestation already, to do the mindset work so that way you're shifting your thoughts, to meditate so that way you can open up your channel to receive divine downloads from the universe. That's when you're like, oh, you know what, I'm going to post this, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to go here. And instead of you spending 8 hours a day trying to figure out how you can force this thing into reality, you spent an hour meditating and getting your energy right and your mind right, and then the universe tells you to go do this thing that didn't even make sense to you, and then you go do that thing and you just got the biggest opportunity that's ever happened. The biggest manifestation you were calling in just came to you, and it was like, what? It got to be that easy? Yeah, because the universe is responding to you, and you can only receive the answers based on the frequency that you're at. A quote that I always refer to, especially with my clients, is that a person can only meet you at the level that they've met themselves. And I'm sure that you've heard that or some variation of that, but have you ever thought about that from the reverse? That the universe can only meet you at the level that you've met yourself. Because when you understand that the universe is always matching you and it's always just responding to you, it's not testing you, it's responding to you. So when you actually stop reacting and responding to the outside world, which you've already created, which keeps you stuck in this cycle, and instead you say, you know what, I'm actually going to be very intentional about the thoughts that I think this morning. I'm actually going to be very intentional about creating some safe space for me to really sit with myself, for me to really recharge and to really decide what energy I want to start my day in, decide what mindset I want to start my day in, set an intention for what today is going to be. And then instead of feeling like you're in a rat race all day, you're filling your cup up. And because you're coming into the day with a full cup, the universe can match you and can give you these opportunities and experiences that would be there for you, but you wouldn't be able to receive them because you weren't an energetic match for these things because of the fact that you didn't take the time to do whatever it is in the morning that really allows you to feel your best and to think your best and to have such a positive expectation about your life and the day. Because in reality, your entire life can shift in one day. Like something epic and magical could happen to you in one day. But the chances of that happening, if you're not taking the time to really decide who you're going to be in that day, are very unlikely. Whereas those opportunities are even more magnified the more you actually spend this time with yourself and rewiring yourself and regulating and really just changing how you start your day. Because the thing that people always forget in manifestation is it isn't about what's going on outside of you. It's about what's going on inside of you. And before you tangibly have the manifestation, you are going to feel it and see it internally. And until you feel it and see it internally, you're not tangibly going to have the manifestation. Let me see if my tea is colder yet. Ooh, perfect heat. Yay. Okay. I've been manifesting a good paying job, and I've done everything on the book and nothing. So somebody asked me to create a video on this, and so it's probably like lost in the sauce on my TikTok page, but you could find it on my YouTube, where somebody said, like, how do I manifest a job? So the thing that I want you to realize is that while there are a bunch of things that you can do based on the specific manifestation, the simplest thing, which is like where a lot of people just like drop the ball, is if you want a new job and a good paying job, then you need to be focusing more of your time, attention, and energy on the fact that you have this job already. Because you either are being the person that has it already or you're being the person that doesn't have it already. And the person that doesn't have it is focusing on the fact that they don't have the job, is focusing on the fact that they keep applying to all of these jobs and nobody's getting back to them, is focusing on the fact that they're working in a job that they don't love, is focusing on the lack of money that they're receiving, is focusing on all of the things that they don't want. So I want you to honestly ask yourself, because this goes back to what I was saying before, the energy and the mindset that you're in while you're taking the action. While you are applying for jobs, are you in a mindset of course they want to hire me? Of course this is going to be the best job ever. Of course they're going to get back to me. Of course they're going to call me. Are you focusing your time, attention, and energy on what career you really want, on how much money, like how much exact money do you want? Are you focusing on what your relationship is with your coworkers, with your boss? Are you getting really clear on what your new desk looks like? Are you getting really clear on whether you work from home or you work in an office? Are you getting really clear on what your commute looks like? Are you getting really clear on what hours you're working? Are you getting really clear, like so fucking crystal clear on the job that you're calling in, that your attention and energy isn't on the job that you have or don't have? Like, because I don't know whether you're working right now or you're not working. But when people shift, that's when everything changes. Because the person that knows exactly what they want out of a job, knows exactly how much money they want, knows exactly what their hours are going to be like, knows what their PTO is going to be like, knows whether it's going to be a very independent job or whether there's going to be a team working dynamic, knows what type of boss they like, whether they're more hands-on or whether they are like, let you do your thing and you just like check in with them when shit is done or like whatever it is. But a lot of the time when people aren't getting jobs, it's because they're sitting there all day long, like applying on their computer frantically in this need energy. Like, I need to have a better job. I need to make more money. My debt is growing. I'm behind on my bills. I really hate my boss. I just can't work here anymore. I'm so tired. I'm so burnt out. I just need somebody to get back to me, checking their email constantly. Why haven't they gotten back to me? Why did that person say no? Oh my God, another person said no. Blah. You're still reacting and responding. And through all of that, you're not in the right energy. You're not in the right mindset. And you're not clear on what you desire. So then you're from lack trying to get anything you can get. And that's when it feels exhausting. And that's when you get discouraged. And that's when you start getting frustrated and depressed that the manifestation isn't coming to you. But it's like you're not allowing a different manifestation to come to you because of the fact that the universe is matching you. So I would really get clear and look at and just be accountable. Like, how are you showing up in relation to this new job? Do you see yourself already having it? Have you already visualized yourself driving in the car to that job? Have you already seen yourself walking into the office? Do you know what clothing you're going to wear? Do you know what energy you're going to be in? Do you know what this new job is going to feel like? Do you know what you are going to feel like when you have more money coming in because you are working in a better paying job? Like, this is the shit like that people don't get. If you want to start manifesting things, you've got to stop acting like somebody in the Matrix. Somebody in the Matrix just sits on Indeed or whatever all day long and they just apply and apply and apply and apply and they hope that they get something, and then they tweak their resume and then they apply more and then they check their emails, and they're constantly just like playing out this cycle of lack and fear and scarcity, and they're never taking their attention off of it, and they're never getting their energy out of that. And it's like, if you keep showing up as the version of you who doesn't have the high paying job, guess what happens? You don't get the high paying job. When you start showing up as the version of you who has the high paying job, who knows their value, who knows their work, who's clear on the industry that they want to work in, who's clear on how they want their job to feel, who's clear on the professional dynamics, who's clear on all of their non-negotiables, that's when they get the job, and they get the job quickly, and it comes out of seemingly nowhere. They go to the grocery store, they run into somebody that they knew in high school, and then they've started this company, and boom, they just ask you to be the CEO. That's how shit can work, but you've got to be working in alignment instead of working like somebody in the Matrix. You feel me? Right. You get it. For me, a lot of it is not negatively reacting. I just go inward, calm down, and give it a new story. Exactly. And that's the thing, is when you're not negatively reacting anymore, that means that you're regulating your nervous system. And the thing is a lot of people don't understand how important nervous system regulation is. And if you don't regulate your nervous system, then it's very difficult for you to have high emotional intelligence. That means that you're always reacting and responding to everything that's happening outside of you. But then that's when it's the catch-22 hamster in the wheel paradigm, because you created what's happening outside of you based on your old thoughts, your old beliefs, your old stories, your old energy, your old expectations. So if you keep reacting and responding, you're going to keep yourself in this dysregulated fear-based cycle where you're always having life happen to you instead of realizing that life is happening through you. So if something is happening outside of you that you don't desire, then you've got to pause and you've got to take some deep breaths. You've got to start feeling the way that you desire to feel, but you can't do that unless you release all of these negative energies and you actually move through the part of you that wants to react and respond and freak out. Because when you just breathe, you realize that you're so much better equipped to deal with the situation in front of you, and you can actually not respond if you don't want to. You don't have to react, because the thing is the more time you react and respond to something you don't want, the more attention you're putting onto it, the more focus you have. And because you're focusing on it, the more it's going to manifest. Whereas sometimes you could just not actually freak out about something because it's not something that needs your attention right away. It isn't something that has to be a big deal. You might have gotten a notification about something. You might have gotten an email. Someone might have said something, but it's like, do you have to, in that moment, actually address it? Do you actually have to take care of that thing right then and there? Oftentimes you don't. And when you sit with it for a minute and then or a few minutes if needed, and then you look at it, you have different clarity because you've removed yourself from the trigger. You've removed yourself from the energy, and you've now gotten your energy right. And then you get to say, okay, but how do I want to respond here? How do I want this to go for me? How would I rather I act in this situation instead of reacting like I always do? Because every time I react like this, it just makes me feel worse. Every time I react like this, it keeps getting me similar results. And the common denominator is you. So if you want something to change, you've got to really be clear on how you're contributing to the situation. Because until you take accountability of that, that's when you're going to keep acting out the same pattern. And because you have a belief that's creating that pattern and it's all unconscious, if you don't become consciously aware and change in the moment, that unconscious pattern keeps playing out. And that's when people get really frustrated and they kind of spin off because they're like, doesn't matter what I do, I can't manifest the money. Doesn't matter what I do, I always have a micromanaging boss. Doesn't matter what I do, I always end up with a cheater, with a liar. And it's like, if it's always happening, if it's different people, different places, different things, but it's the same situation that's happening over and over again. What's that Taylor Swift song? Hi, I'm the problem, it's me. I'm not a Swiftie, but that line is just very, very, very powerful. When you understand that if you keep getting stuck in a pattern, the only thing that is the common denominator there is you. So that means that there's got to be something inside of you that believes that this is all they're available for, that is accepting of this. Sometimes we just have really low boundaries on what we'll accept in certain areas of our life because we think this is as good as it can get. But it's but if you actually just expect more, if you actually don't accept less, and you actually have healthy boundaries, and when you show up differently and you have high emotional intelligence, then the universe starts changing quickly because you're changing. The universe is like, oh, okay, she's not showing up the way she always did. She's not reacting to this. She's not getting herself out of sorts. She's actually staying in her power. She's actually getting clear on how she wants this to go for her. She's actually taking some time to look at how she's contributing to this. And because you're showing up differently, you're showing the universe that you're actually doing the work and you're actually willing to change. And that's the thing, is it's not about the universe testing you. The universe is always giving you opportunities to show up as the version of you that you need to be in order to get the manifestation. But if you keep showing up as a person that's in contradiction to who you need to be to get the manifestation, that's when it's very hard for the manifestation to land, because you aren't being somebody different. And who you're being dictates what you're getting. So it's always about going inward and saying, what is this trying to teach me? What's the lesson that I'm not learning here? Where do I need to strengthen my emotions? Where do I need to strengthen my resiliency? Where do I need to strengthen my thoughts? Where do I need to release this story? Where do I need to throw out this limiting belief? Where do I need to set different boundaries? When you just start looking at, but how can I change? That it's always giving your power back, because there's always something that you can do, even if it is, and most of the time it just is, changing you and changing something that's going on inside of you. And then you realize that you go through this thing, you change how you respond, and then because you broke the pattern and you transcended it, something different happens and it feels way better and it's more in alignment with what you're manifesting. And then you're like, damn, I'm done with that stupid cycle. It's just because you aren't keeping yourself there anymore. It's like in a video game, right? Like you just leveled up. So you're not on that same level anymore where you're going through the same thing and you keep dying at the same place in the video game. So then you keep starting over on that level. It's like, instead of reacting quickly and trying to jump across the wall and then getting hit with this thing, you say, I'm going to stand here for a second. I'm going to get really clear on like my positioning for this jump and I'm going to jump and land it. And then you land that jump and boom, you're in a completely different level and you've got a completely different set of things that you're now going through. And when we just like see life as more of a game instead of like it's so serious and we have no say and everything is happening to us, then we have more fun. It feels more exciting. We take more risks. We're willing to get uncomfortable. We're willing to have self-accountability. We're willing to become self-aware because we realize being self-aware doesn't have to be intimidating. It actually gets to be really empowering. And when we play the game of empowerment, we're always winning. We're always winning because, yeah, we might be getting met with a lesson, but that lesson holds within it an opportunity. It holds a key for us to get to a next level of ourselves, a next level in the game of life, a next level where we're actually really loving the life that we're creating. And it's always just getting better. You're always just leveling up. You're always just leveling up. So when you stop feeling defeated and feel like, oh, it's just not working, and you just say, all right, like, how do we get past this level? Like, what do I need to know? What do I need to do differently? Like, how am I keeping myself stuck here? Do I just keep jumping and falling in the same goddamn cliff and then starting back at scratch? Or am I actually going to approach this differently? Because Albert Einstein said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over again and expecting different results. Are you doing the same thing over and over again every single day and expecting different results? Because that's the most frustrating place to be. Like, that's when you're just like fucking annoyed because you have all the information and you know what you desire, but there's a disconnect somewhere. And it's about how you're moving, how you're being, how you're thinking, how you are showing up throughout your day. But the best thing is because it's all dependent on you, the second that you just start taking yourself seriously and your personal growth and you stop cock blocking your success and you stop outsourcing your power, your life can change really fucking quickly because the universe is responding to you. And when you shift your mindset, when you shift your energy, when you raise your vibration, when you raise what you're available for, when you raise your standards, then the universe has no choice but to meet you there. Because it's always just responding back to you. It's always mirroring back to you what you're giving off energetically. This is one big virtual reality game. And I know that it sounds like crazy, but it's literally supported in quantum physics. It's supported by the universal laws. It's supported in all alchemical texts that ancient wisdom has always been teaching us. And it's supported in modern day science that scientists have been trying to deny for forever because that leaves a lot of probability in the scientific landscape. And even Albert Einstein hated that. But just because they don't like it doesn't mean it's not real. Quantum physics has been proven true in every single experiment that's ever been tested. So when you understand that there's an actual practical approach to manifestation, yes, it's fun to learn the universal laws. I think it's important. Yes, it's fun to like learn the art of alchemy. Yes, like there's a lot of information that's exciting. Yeah, there's really fun tools. Yeah, there's like fun visualizations. I give you all of that in my manifestation membership. But doing that isn't what's going to land the manifestation. It's about understanding the practical steps and the things that you can do day in and day out to actually shift your life so quickly. And when you stop just jumping from method to method to method, you stop just reading another book and you actually start doing the work that moves the needle forward, that's when, like, seriously, in 30 days from now, in 60 days from now, in 90 days from now, you could be waking up in a completely different reality, looking at yourself and almost not even recognizing yourself and almost not even recognizing the life that you're living because you've up-leveled in every fucking area. And you're like, I've been trying to do this for fucking 7 years and it felt like it wasn't working. And then I just like, I got that it wasn't so like throw spaghetti at the ball and see if it sticks. It's actually something that I can repetitively do and apply. And the application, that is where your life changes, because when you apply things, you embody it. And when you embody it, it goes into your self-concept. And that's the overarching theme of all of it. Amen. Yes, yes, yes. Less than that, my manifestation happened within 12 hours. That's amazing. The thing is if you have no resistance, the manifestation can happen instantly. It literally can. But if it doesn't happen instantly, that's not a bad thing. That just means that there could be resistance. That just means that there's limiting beliefs that probably need to be looked at. That just means that there's probably something in your self-concept that you just haven't fully embodied yet. If the manifestation hasn't come yet, then there's just little tweaks that you can do, and then the manifestation can come so quickly. But there's literally no time delay. It can come instantaneously, and it won't always. Sometimes there's a soul lesson there, and that's why it's not manifesting. But if you just know that it's this or something better, and it's divine timing always, and the universe is supporting you, that's when you have really fun. Have a lot of fun in the process of manifestation, instead of like getting defeated and disappointed and frustrated because you haven't gotten it yet. Because that's when people are manifesting from their ego. It doesn't feel good, and it's like, drop back into your body, drop back into your heart, and stop trying to get these things, because you don't need anything outside of you. When you start giving yourself it internally, you'll receive the things. And that's the paradox. The majority of people would rather seek something outside of themselves than gift it to themselves. And until you gift it to yourself, the universe can't gift it to you. Because even if you haphazardly manifested it, that's when you're going to lose it, because you weren't actually an energetic match for it. That's why you get the money, manifest the money, and then the bill comes to take it out. That's why you manifest the partner, and then they ghost you in 2 weeks. That's why you manifest the brand new car, and then something goes wrong with the transmission 3 months in. You have to understand that, like, all of these things, there's a cause and effect that's always happening. What should I do when I start to feel impatient? So impatience means that you're not at peace in the moment. So that often is a sign that you're living in your mind and you're not living in your body. So I would take some deep breaths and regulate your nervous system and come back to the present moment, because breathwork is the best way for you to tap into the present moment. And then when you tap into the present moment and you look at, like, I'm okay. Like, I'm good right now. I'm safe right now. So why do I feel impatient about getting this thing? What do I feel like this thing is going to give me? Why do I feel like I need to have this thing so quickly? When you just start getting curious on regulate, and then get curious on where is this impatience coming from? What's the root cause of it? You can often clear the impatience just by giving yourself what you think you need the thing for. Like, a lot of people think they need to get this manifestation so that way they can feel a certain way. But when you remove the manifestation out of it and you just start feeling the way that you would feel if you had the thing already, that's when you wouldn't feel impatient, right? Because the version of you who already has the manifestation, they're not impatient. They're calm. They're excited. They're living their life. They're not looking at their phone obsessively. They're not checking their emails. They're not checking their text messages. They're not constantly looking at the 3D to confirm that something's coming. That's when you get impatient, when you're not moving and living your life and you're just constantly obsessing over the lack of the manifestation. Stop noticing the lack, because if all you're noticing is lack, then all you're available for is lack. You have to realize that impatience is a clear indication that you're out of alignment with the manifestation, with your highest self. So anytime that happens, come back to the present moment and get really clear on why is the impatience happening? Where are you dropping your self-concept? Where are you not feeling into it? Why are you putting this manifestation on a pedestal and allowing you to feel differently without having the thing? Because if all you're noticing is not having the thing, if all you're feeling into is not having the thing, that's when you get fucking frustrated, and that's when you get impatient, because you are looking at your 3D from the lens of lack. You got to take off the lack glasses and come into your body and know that you can feel any way that you want to feel right now. And the best way you're going to feel is feeling into and focusing on what you desire to have, like it's here already, because we live in an infinite world and a quantum world where it is already here. So start being the version of yourself now who has the manifestation, instead of being the version of yourself who's constantly obsessing over not having it. I just watched Law of One. I think you mean the video that I posted the other day about the Law of One. It's so good. Law of One is like truly the absolute best, and the Law of One teachings are like my favorite fucking teachings. It is the Law of One, the Raw Contact Law of One is my favorite fucking book. It's really, really deep though. So if you're not like into spirituality, if you aren't into metaphysics, if you aren't into channeling and things like that, it probably would be too dense for you. But that makes me so excited because I know you were here the other day when we were talking about it. It's so fucking good. The moment I became okay with it not happening, it manifested. Exactly. You released the resistance. You surrendered, because you can't try to force something into creation and then constantly feel into not having it and then constantly add pressure to the present moment. You can't be so obsessive that you're not going to allow the thing to come in different ways, or to let it be this or something better, or this or someone better. You have to realize that you're good. No matter what, you're good. And you've got to stop believing and telling yourself stories that you need to have something outside of you so that way you'll be good, because you're good. And sometimes the lesson is just learn that you're good. No matter what, you're good without the thing. And then you actually have a secure attachment to the thing that you're manifesting, and then it can come in easily. But when you keep telling yourself that you're not good and you need something and you're desperate about it, that's when you create a bunch of resistance. And when you have that resistance, that's when it becomes very difficult to manifest. And if you want help with any of this, just get into my membership. I give you literally everything that you need to know about manifestation, and it's only $44 a month, and you will literally be blown away at everything. And we're having our first call on the 1212 portal, which is such a potent energy, and we're going to have a guided meditation, and I'm going to do some teachings, and then you guys are going to be able to ask questions, and there's already a space for you guys to connect and hang out and introduce yourselves, and there's like a little book club vibe going on. Like, it's literally everything that you need to know about manifestation, all of the practices to help you rewire your mind, all of the practices to regulate your nervous system. Like, I teach you everything that I know in there. So if you're like, I know this, but I'm just struggling to apply it, or if you're just learning this and you want to know more, get into the academy. You can just click the link in my bio membership, and you can just get right into the membership, and you'll have access to the content right away, and you can start going through it. Facts. Hey, Dunson. I want to heal my body. Then stop saying you want to heal it and just heal it. Wants doesn't get you closer to actually having it. The people that I'm a certified Reiki master. So I have healed people from shit that Western doctors have told them that they won't heal from. They've been literally on their deathbed, and I've helped them heal in literally less than 3 days. That's my sweet spot in my world, 3 days. But the thing is if you want to have a healed body, you've got to stop focusing on the fact that your body isn't healed. You've got to stop talking about the fact that you're sick. You've got to stop focusing on all of the pain. You've got to stop focusing on the fact that you feel unhealed in your body. And the second that you start seeing yourself as healthy, the second that you start feeling into health and you start feeling what it's like to feel healthy, the second you start seeing yourself healthy in your mind, that's when you heal your body quickly. Because epigenetics, this is the work that Dr. Joe Dispenza specializes in, helping people heal their bodies. But how do they do that? By changing their epigenetics, by changing he calls it, I can't remember what his term is right now, but he teaches you how to do that healing work. And I just call it recoding your cellular DNA, because at a subatomic level, we're all just energy, including your body. So it's if you keep telling the cells of your body and keep sending sick energy into your body, then it's going to keep manifesting. And you have to realize that anytime you're experiencing any disease in your body, it's the third spot. It started in either your spirit or the mental realm or emotional realm, and then it manifested in your body because you weren't paying attention to it. You weren't clearing it up on one of those levels. So the last place it's going to manifest is in your physical body. So if you just get clear on doing the work to shift in your physical body, to feel what it would feel like to be healthy, to tell yourself that you're healthy, and to feel differently and not talk about the sickness. Stop focusing on the sickness. Stop hanging around with people that are talking about being sick, because a lot of people don't heal from sickness because they have a secondary gain, because they have a community over being sick, or they get out of responsibility, or they just start playing into the victim frequency for too long. But it's like, you can literally heal your body instantly. You can heal your body overnight, but you've got to be very intentional about what you're saying, about your habits, about what you're eating and stuff too. But that's a whole nother conversation. Here for spirit lifting. Hell yes, that's what we're here for. I've learned you have to be so specific when manifesting. Yeah, so one of the biggest like hoaxes in, not even hoax, it's just lies. One of the biggest lies in the human design community of like all the people that learn trendy human design and not traditional human design is they'll tell you that there are non-specific and specific manifestors in human design. And as somebody who studied the human design system for 5 fucking years before I ever did a human design reading, and I've given hundreds of human design readings, that doesn't exist. The arrows that they tell you that are your specific or non-specific arrows are actually just an arrow that tells you what your perception is. So it has nothing to do with manifestation. And the thing is you need to be specific about manifesting because you need to see it in your mind first. And your mind doesn't work in words. Like, your conscious mind hears words, but your subconscious mind doesn't speak in words. It speaks in imagery. Your subconscious mind is very, very connected to your 5 senses. So one of the best senses is visualizing, because you can literally see it in your mind. And when you understand that you're one big projection, if you were going to put a movie on a projection screen, but you didn't know what movie you were going to be putting in, they're not going to see anything there. You're not going to be getting any closer to experiencing anything. You're just going to be looking at a blank screen. And that's where a lot of people feel stuck, because they aren't feeding their subconscious mind with what they desire. So then they're like, well, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, if you keep saying, I don't know, you're just looking at the blank screen and maybe pressing a button, but you got to put a movie in there. And it's like and this is why vision boards work so well, because when you focus on what you want and when you see it externally, and then you can see it in your mind, and you keep playing out yourself being in that, your mind doesn't know the difference between what has happened, what will happen, and what is happening, because time is an illusion. And so when you understand that, the more that you get very clear on what you want, the more you can see the house that you want to be in, the car that you want to be driving, the relationship that you want to be in, the healthy body that you want to be in, the success that you want to have, the money in the bank account. The more that you get crystal clear on seeing and knowing what that reality looks like for you, seeing yourself in an associated sense in that reality, actually playing it out there, you actually trick your mind into thinking that you're already there. But if you say that you want to manifest a house, but you have no fucking idea what the house structure looks like, you have no idea how many floors you want, you have no idea how many bathrooms you want, you have no idea what you want the kitchen to look like, you have no idea what community you want it to be in, you have no idea any of the specifics about the house, then your mind is like, okay, and the universe has no idea what you actually want. And think about it from the sense, if you were to order from a restaurant and you went to the restaurant and you told the waiter, I just want a burger. Okay, well, how do you want the burger cooked? Do you want lettuce, tomato, onion on it? Do you want pickles? Do you want fries as your side? Do you want chips? Do you want sweet potato fries? Do you want onion rings? Do you want something to drink with that? Like, you don't just tell a waiter at a restaurant that you just want a burger. And I have a manifesto that you can download on my website that walks you through the process of placing an order with the universe. But it's like, you've got to realize that you're placing an order with the universe when you're manifesting. So you're not going to the universe and being like, I just want a burger. You're very fucking clear on, where do you want the burger from? What type of burger do you want? And then you go to that restaurant and then you order that burger, and then you don't try and rush the waiter, or you don't run into the kitchen and be like, is my burger ready yet? How long is it going to take? You just sit there and drink your drink and enjoy the company or whatever it is. But if you're not clear on whatever it is, if you're not clear on the house that you want, if you're not clear on the car that you want, if you're not clear on the on the relationship that you want, on the partner that you're trying to manifest. If you're just not clear on all of these things and you're not doing the work to get clear, you don't need to know all of the details. But the thing is, the more details you do know, the more you are literally telling the supercomputer in your brain, or that is your brain, to manifest that for you. Because you're like, no, this is the fucking house that I want. This is the color that I want it to be. This is the street that I want it to be in. This is what color I want my cabinets to be. This is what kind of floors I want in there. This is what kind of backyard I have. That's why you've heard so many stories of people being like, yeah, so I used to walk down this one neighborhood and I used to say, I'm going to live here one day. And then like 10 years go by. They completely forget that they ever said that. They end up buying this house with their significant other, and they go on a dog walk one day and they realize that they're standing in the place where they said that they were going to live on that street 10 years ago when they were talking to their friend and they were walking, drinking their coffees. And now they live on that street and they live on a house there. Because they said, I'm going to live there one day. And they meant it and they felt it in their body. And the universe was like, okay, dope. I know where you want to live. But it's like, there's so many people that I find are just, yeah, universe, I don't know, can I get a home? That would just, every time you say that, I want you to think about like you just went to a restaurant and you said, I don't know, can I have a burger? How would the waiter, especially if you're in America, right? Because like these people get tips and get paid shit. Go to a restaurant in America and just, don't actually do this. Like, don't do this to your poor wait staff. But imagine that if you went to a restaurant in America and you said, I just want a burger. If you have a really shitty server that hates their life and hates you because of that, they're just going to walk away, not ask any details. But they also know that you're going to bitch and complain because they're not going to know what you want. They're not going to know how you want it cooked. They're not going to know what condiments you want on it. They're not going to want to know, or they're not going to know what toppings. They're not going to want to know what side. And then if they just make it up and put it in the computer and then the kitchen makes it and then you complain about it, the kitchen and the manager are going to be like, well, the fuck? Like, why didn't you ask those questions? That's kind of like what the universe is like sometimes. The fuck? Like, your subconscious mind is like, I'm here to help you. I'm here to serve you, but you don't even know what you want. Like I can literally give you anything that you want, but I just need you to place the order. Like, place the order. Think about it when you're ordering on Amazon. You're not like, I want a shirt. Or anywhere you're shopping, anywhere you're online shopping. But like, you look at the colors that you want. You order the size that you want. You're like, no, that doesn't really, I don't like that fit. You're like, that's not really my style. Okay, I love that. But you're not just like, I'm just gonna, there's a shirt. Okay, let me click it. Let me just get it in whatever size. Let me just order it for whatever price. Like, you don't do that. But that's what so many people are trying to do in manifestation. They have no fucking idea what they want to manifest. And they're over here just throwing spaghetti at the wall, getting frustrated why it's not manifesting. And it's like, what if you just got really clear on what you wanted? I'm not saying you have to have every fucking detail picked out, but the more details you do have, the more crystal clear on what you do want, and the more you're going to actually lower your standards. You're going to be like, no, like, this is the house that I want. No, this is the person that I'm manifesting. No, this is the type of relationship that I want. No, 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 no. Like, you're going to say no and hold up your boundaries a lot better, because then you're going to get the exact thing that you were looking for or something better, instead of settling for like the next best thing. But a lot of people just like don't do that. And that's where they're like really fucking themselves up. How do I keep the doubt from creeping in? I talked about this really deeply in my last masterclass. So if you're in the membership, go into my second to last masterclass, go into the Already Yours masterclass, because I talk about this really in depth. But you have to realize, like, here's another thing, right? Is like, another thing being that this is another area that a lot of people I notice, like, they don't understand the depth of manifestation. And I get it, because there's a lot of people that are just like regurgitating superficial shit all over the internet. But you have to understand, if you aren't certain about what you want to manifest, you're the one that's manifesting it, right? Like, you're the one that is saying like, yes, this is what I want. No, this isn't what I want. And so why would you doubt it? Like, you are a divine creator. You are here to manifest whatever you want. You have the ability to manifest anything. So why would you doubt that it's not coming to you? Typically because you have a low self-concept in that area. But it's like, if you're doubting that the thing's going to come, then of course the thing's not going to come, because who's the one that's deciding what they're manifesting? You. And if you're doubting, you haven't decided. Right? Like, you're still in that wanting, hoping, wishy-washy energy, instead of you deciding that this is what is going to manifest, and then getting your beliefs on board with it, getting your identity on board with it, getting your habits and your behaviors on board with it. When you just start getting more clear and being more decisive on what you want, not settling for anything, not like being like, well, I hope I get this, but I don't know, it doesn't normally come in, and this doesn't come in, like, you're the one that has to be fucking certain. You're the one that has to decide. You're the one. And if you don't decide, if all you play into is doubt, if all you play into is like, well, I hope it comes, then like, you're not leading. You're not in leading energy. And the universe is always responding to you. So if you're not leading, it's the blind leading the fucking blind. The universe can only meet you where you're meeting yourself. So it's like, why would you doubt your divinity? Why would you doubt that you can't have what you want? Why would you play into doubt? Because how does doubt get you anywhere? Worrying, like I always say, worrying is a prayer to the universe for what you don't want to manifest. Why would you worry? Why would you doubt? I get that you've been taught to do this by the Matrix, but I'm asking you this from like the lens of you knowing the manifestation world. Why would you doubt something when you know that what you're putting your attention on is what manifests? So if you're doubting it's going to manifest and you don't think it's going to manifest, you cannot be shocked when it doesn't manifest, right? Like, the math isn't mathing even on an energetic level. And I just got a huge ding in my ear. So that's like fucking confirmation. Somebody needed to hear that. You can't doubt and manifest. You can inconsistently and haphazardly, but you're not allowing yourself to feel good in the process. And why would you doubt? Why wouldn't you just get all of your energy and your mindset on board with, of course, it's manifesting? And the thing is living in the wish fulfilled, understanding the law of assumption. Like, the law of assumption is this new trendy fucking thing, but it's always been talked about in the law of attraction community. So that's why it's like hilarious that these cult, like, law of assumption people, like, they don't understand law of attraction fully. And that's why it's like this, they're not two different things, actually. They're just semantics, different names. But if you're living in the wish fulfilled, if you're acting as if you are practicing the law of assumption, that version of you doesn't doubt that they have the manifestation's coming in, because you're either doubting, lacking, not having, or you have it and you're certain. And the version of you who has the manifestation already, they're certain. They're not doubting, because doubting is a clear indication that you're noticing the lack of the thing. Instead of you saying, this is what I've decided that I get to have, and now I'm going to get clear on who do I need to be, who is the version of me that has that manifestation. You don't have any time to play into the doubt, because it's a decide and move, decide and move, decide and move. We're not in wanting and waiting energy. We're in deciding and moving energy. So you've got to stop doubting, start deciding, and start moving. Getting all, like, cleaning up your side of the street, so that way you are moving fully in alignment with the manifestation. And if you want help with that, just get into the Manifestation Academy. I mean, there's so many things in there, but I would suggest going into the Already Yours Masterclass. Like, I go so fucking deep on it in there. And I give you all the tools and everything that you need to, like, really, really be able to land all of this and lock it in your life. I constantly go back and forth between both version of people you just described. That's the thing. Like, you're human, you're not perfect. And like, we all do that. Even us manifestation teachers, like, everybody, it's human nature that you're going to meet yourself at an edge. Like, you're going to be going after something that's bigger that you've never had before. You're going to be going after more money. You're going to be manifesting more success. You're going to be manifesting the perfect partner. Like, there's always going to be times where we fluctuate and we go back because we're still living in the matrix. But it's like, it's not about how many times you fall back into that old identity. It's about how many times you become consciously aware that you've fallen back and how quickly you get back up. Because you're going to fall. It's human nature. You're going to scrape your knees. You're not going to be perfect at anything. But it's like how quickly do you notice that you started playing that victim frequency, started playing as the version of yourself who doesn't have it? And how quickly do you get back into character? How quickly do you show up as the version of you who has the manifestation? Because the universe is responding to your dominant vibration. So the more that you are course correcting, the more that you're pivoting, the more that you're showing up differently, the more that you're choosing to become this person, the faster you're going to quantum leap into the new reality, because your dominant vibration is changing, because you are changing, because you're noticing and shifting, noticing and shifting, noticing and shifting. And that's why I always tell you that consciousness is one of the most important parts of manifestation, because when you're conscious, you can notice when you've fallen out of alignment, and then you can shift back. You're not going to be perfect at it. Sometimes it'll take you out more than others, but it's not about like playing the blame game or playing the victim or playing well, it doesn't work for me. It's about saying, shit, I fell back off the bike again. Let me just get back up. And the more you get back up, like the more resilient you become, and the more practiced you become at doing this, and the more that like you're able to go through things that would really used to like take you out. And then you can look at it and be like, damn, like who was that woman? She was so empowered in that moment. She was so calm. She was so like positive. She just like didn't let the external trip her up, and it was, or him up, or whatever, they up. But it's like, it's about you shifting. It's about you changing and noticing that every time you go through something, it just gives you a skill to learn how to embody the principles of manifestation even more. And the more you embody it, the more you live it, the more you become it, the more you manifest, the faster you manifest, the easier you manifest, and the better it gets, the better it gets, the better it gets. Yeah, I've been way too needy for these opportunities. And that's the thing, right? Like I always say, no one likes desperation. Like think about it from a dating sense. Like if you were out, I was just using the example of a bar just because it's like an easily understandable one. Like I'm not saying go out and hang out at a bar, just understand discernment there. But it's like if you went to a bar and you were sitting at the bar and you were just like having a drink, and say you were waiting for your friend and you got there like 5 minutes early, or they were running 10 minutes late or whatever. And you're just like, all right, I'll grab a drink and I'll just like sit here. If there was a guy or girl, whatever your identity is, but say you're sitting there, if there was a person that kept coming up to you and was like, hey, can I buy you a drink? And was like crowding you and like creeping in on you, and wasn't like giving you any space, wasn't like coming up to you in their power and like, hey, and like having like a chill conversation and be like, you know, like, what are you doing here? Like, ba-da-da-da, like, you know, like, and you start talking and then they offer you a drink. Like, the energy that you're in matters. Like, desperation repels even the universe. And it's like, you wouldn't want to give your phone number to the person that was like, hey, like, you'd be like, bro, like, I'm just trying to wait for my friend. Like, can you not? Can you not? And so it like wouldn't feel good to either of you. But when you're just like calm, cool, and collective, and you're drinking your drink and you're not looking around for anyone and you're just like in your power, that's when someone's going to come up to you, and that could be like the person you end up marrying because you were just like in your power. Or it could be somebody that comes up to you and offers you a job opportunity because you start talking and you realize that you work in the same industry and they're hiring or whatever it is. But it's like, if you're just so obsessive over the manifestation that you're not giving it any air to breathe, you're in this really contracted energy. You're not in an expanded energy. And if we're in contracted energy, that's a low vibrational signal that we're giving off. So then everything that we're going to attract is going to be low vibrational. And it's like, you got to stop white knuckling your manifestation. Like a lot of people are just like, got to get there. We got to get this thing. And it's like, stretch your hands out, take a deep breath, go outside, get some fresh air. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I get that it's difficult and it's easy to like fall back into the old ways, but sometimes we just got to like take a deep breath and laugh at ourselves and be like, is this really gonna, like, is this the energy I really want to be in? Is this really magnetic? Like, would I want to come hang out with me? Like, if I was the universe, would I want to come give me everything I want? Like, am I actually the person and the version of myself that gets everything I want right now? Or am I kind of like throwing a temper tantrum like a 2-year-old? Am I trying to micromanage the universe? Because that never works. It never works. It never works. What if we have OCD? Will those thoughts manifest, or do we just affirm the opposite to be safe? So here's the thing about literally any any condition, any disease, any syndrome, it's all like manufactured from the Matrix, right? You can literally heal anything in yourself. And OCD is typically derived from a psychological condition, right? So it's like, if you just changed your psychology, you wouldn't have OCD anymore. And I'm not saying it's like that easy, like there's a lot to it, but it's like, OCD is not something that you have to have. But the more that you identify as somebody with OCD, the more that you use OCD as an excuse. Like, it's like the fact that mental health became a popular topic is a great thing. But have you noticed how, especially in younger generations, it's just like now everyone's talking about their anxiety? Then it's just causing more anxiety, and then people are bonding over the fact that they have anxiety instead of just doing the work to clear up their anxiety. I used to be clinically depressed. I had the worst panic disorders that you could ever have. I had a whole slew of fucking psychological issues because I came from a highly traumatic past, and I don't have any of them anymore because I did the work to heal them. So stop giving so much attention to your OCD and stop using it as an excuse that the universal laws don't work for you just because you have some condition that some doctor told you that you had and then you believed it. Because you don't have to believe anything that anyone tells you, including the fact that you have that. Because look at how many people that are told that they have cancer and then they don't believe it, and then they go work with Dr. Joe Dispenza or some Reiki master or something else, and then they clear the cancer because they didn't believe it. Even look at Dr. Joe Dispenza himself. He got into an accident. He was told he was going to be paralyzed, and he decided, no, I'm not available for that. I see myself healing. He saw himself walking, and that's what propelled him into helping other people heal. But it's like, you've got to stop using anything as an excuse. And I love you, but that's just an excuse. So what if you didn't let your OCD be such a prevalent thing in your life? And what if you actually learned to heal the psychological root of it, and then you were actually able to be empowered and you didn't have to worry about that because it wasn't something that you identified with anymore? Because it doesn't matter what disease you have. We're all humans that have brains that work in basically the exact same way, they're neurally encoded. But it's like, are you encoding your brain in positive, empowering beliefs? Or are you telling yourself negative, disempowering beliefs all day long? Because at the end of the day, the mindset work is still the same. At the end of the day, the emotional regulation work is still the same. At the end of the day, the healing work is still the same. If you've come from a lot of fucking trauma like me, you just have to do more trauma healing. You have to do more work. You have to take it more seriously. You have to spend more time doing it. But that's why, I used to want to be a psychoanalyst, but it was I realized very, very quickly that talking about your problems doesn't help heal your problems. Then when I started going through all my coaching certifications and learning the subconscious mind and understanding that trauma is something that lives in your body, not in your mind. So the more you talk about trauma, the more you relive it. And so that doesn't heal it, right? So it's the more you talk about your OCD, the more attention you give it, the more you identify with it. And you could just stop doing that. And then you could just do the mindset work like everyone else. You know what I mean? People tend to seek validation outside to feel better inside, when the thing is first feel better inside. Yeah. That's the thing, is you've got to stop looking for validation. The only person you need validation from is yourself. So stop trying to look for validation in other things. Stop trying to seek external things from the ego and start giving yourself the feelings that you need. Start giving yourself the attention that you need. Start giving yourself the love that you need, because you have the ability at every single moment, no matter where you are in life, no matter how much money you have, no matter what your love life is, no matter what, to give yourself exactly what you need. But are you ignoring yourself and at war with yourself and trying to get material things so you can stick a Band-Aid on it? Or are you actually just going to sit down and look at yourself and stop running from yourself? Because your relationship with yourself will manifest in every other relationship in your life. So it's stop looking for proof. Stop looking for validation. Because when you're looking for proof that it's working, you don't believe that it's working. You're not embodied in the self-concept of the person that has it already. You're looking for your 3D to tell you something that you're not telling yourself, you're not giving yourself, and that will never work. You've got to decide what it is that you're manifesting, and then stop giving your attention to the outside. Stop looking for validation. Stop looking for permission. Start doing the internal work to shift how you think, how you feel, how you speak, your identity. And then you'll realize that not only are you feeling better, but this whole manifestation thing starts working for you because there's a lot of work there. And that's the thing is I think a lot of people don't have conversations about like the depth of like work that in personal development that you have to do on yourself. And that's why in my Manifestation Academy, the first program you go through is called Soul Manifestation. And I walk you step by step through healing yourself, forgiving your past, releasing all of the bullshit that you've been through, really getting clear on what isn't serving you, healing your inner child once and then moving forward. Like we do a lot of the foundational manifestation work because a lot of people are just trying to jump to law of assumption. And it's like, but if you haven't actually healed yourself from all of these things, then the energetic principles are going to be hard to work with because like you're working against yourself because you're like a negatively oriented person that has all of these things that they need to like move through and heal, but you aren't healing them. And then you're trying to manifest from the ego. And it's like, even if you do manifest, it's not going to feel good. And then you're going to come back to needing to do this work because that's your spiritual journey anyway. But it's like, once you start doing the personal development work, and healing yourself and feeling better in yourself and having a healthier relationship with yourself, that is when you'll actually start manifesting so much more consistently because you're changing. And when you change, your reality changes. Yes, girl, you get it. You get it. Hey, Cycle. I had a really vivid dream about my manifestation and it felt really real. Is it a sign? Asking for signs is you asking for permission or validation. Your dreams is just your subconscious mind processing emotions that you aren't processing consciously, especially when it's at the end of your dream cycle. And so if you remember your dream, it's typically because it was at the end of the cycle. And so that means that there are unprocessed emotions there that you aren't healing. So be honest with yourself. What emotions haven't you processed? What are you trying to manifest without doing the work to shift and to change? And then stop asking for people if it's a sign and what does it mean? Because humans decide the meaning. You're always deciding the meaning. It doesn't have to mean anything or it could mean anything. You decide. But it's like when you ask people like, what does it mean? Or what's the sign? Or even ask the universe, show me a blue butterfly if I'm meant to be with this person. You are giving your power away. Decide what you want. Do the work to clean up your mindset, to clean up your energy, to clean up your emotions, to clean up your self-concept, and then fucking get it. But you've got to stop like fucking going after asking a tarot reader and then asking this manifestation coach and leaving this comment. If all you're doing is asking other people if it's a sign or asking other people what it means, like you're not showing up in your power and you're not doing the work to manifest because you're still seeking validation from the outside world. You've got to validate yourself. Decide what you want. Do the work to get it. End of story. Alexa, can I date other guys while manifesting my SP? You fucking should. You should never just be trying to like, and you guys know specific person questions are my least fucking favorite question. I'm going to talk to you guys like you're not from the everyone is you pushed out camp and cult because I don't have time for any of you. If you want to be in that cult, that's cool. Don't follow me. We're not going to get along. So I'm going to trust that you are being somebody that is healthily manifesting a specific person. You understand that manifestation is this or someone better. It does not mean you are picking Joey that you dated when you were 14 because you have some weird attachment to them and you believe that they're your soulmate, so you're only ever going to be available for Joey. No, you're doing the work to love yourself, to know that you're a fucking divine king or queen. And when you vibrate with the frequency of love, you manifest a healthy, loving partner. So of course you're going to go out and date people because you're not just sitting at home waiting for Joey to text you, especially when he blocked you fucking 10 years ago when you broke up. Like you've got to be honest with yourself and actually do the work to love yourself and to go out. That's the action part, right? Like if you're manifesting love, you're doing something about it. You're creating the dating app. You're going out to meet people. You're going out on dates. You're putting yourself out there. You're getting all cute and getting dressed up. You're having conversations. You're meeting new people. If you're not doing that, you're closing yourself off because you're saying, I'm trying to violate this person's free will to come back to me and I am unavailable for any other reality other than with this person. And the universe goes, that's pretty egoic. Maybe we should let them sit at home and check themselves. You've got to like make them obsessed with you, the manifest your specific person back, like all of that fucking bullshit. Like, yes, I have videos that have blown up on that, but they're titled like that. And then I talk to you in a way that is healthy. Like, we got to stop entertaining the fucking bullshit. Everyone is you pushed out fucking egocentric manifestation cult. Like, it's literally a cult because you can't say anything other than you can manifest exactly who you want. You can always manifest this or something better, this or someone better. So go out on your fucking dates, girl. Get cute, get ready, have fun, have conversations, and you probably will meet somebody that is 10 fucking times better than the person that you were trying to call in anyway. And you realize that there was lack of self-worth from that you were manifesting that person, that you really weren't holding yourself in the highest integrity, that you were lowering your standards, that you were disvaluing yourself, and you actually met somebody who treats you like the fucking divine queen that you are, and you have such a better connection and relationship because you stopped obsessing over Joey. And you started just living your life. So go out on the fucking dates. Hell yes. Hey, sugar. So much we come from a position of lack in our thinking. I argue that if everybody could just realize that it's either lack or abundance, like mathematically on the energetic scale, there's positive or there's negative. And yeah, there's a bunch of nuance and variance in between. But if we just simplified the fuck out of manifestation and said, are you focusing on, are you speaking into, are you noticing and giving all of your time and attention and energy to not having it, lack? Or are you focusing all of your time and attention and energy and speaking about and thinking about and feeling into having it? Then I'd probably be out of business. But luckily for me, not really, because I would just do something else. But honestly, if the majority of people could just start spending more time like doing that work, which is a whole fucking thing in itself, right? Like, I'm not saying that's easy, but if more people would just focus on doing that, more people would manifest so much faster, because at the end of the day, lack will always manifest lack. As I always say, lack mindset plus a lack frequency, taking action from lack is always going to get more lack. When you have an abundant mindset and an abundant frequency and you take aligned action, you're from that place, you're always going to get abundance. But it's like so many people just, they're unconscious of it. It's so habitual. They're not willing to do the mindset work. They just like aren't doing the personal development work. But at the end of the day, girl, I know the matrix is based on lack, and lack is an illusion. And the thing is the matrix like brainwashes you to believe in lack, because if you realize that lack isn't real, you would be so in your power that you wouldn't be controllable. And then the whole system would deteriorate. But we're already at that point, so let it deteriorate, baby. We are ready for 4D. Evening's greetings. Greetings to you as well. How do you get in the mindset of something when you don't have it, like looking for a job? Were you here at the beginning when I like did a whole spiel on how to get the job and how to manifest a job? I post these on my YouTube page. So like this will be posted tonight or tomorrow. So I would recommend rewatching that, because I already like went in depth about having a job. But think about, visualize a reality where you have that job already. How do you feel? What do you think about? What does your day look like? Who are you in that job? Like, just like with anything, if you want to manifest money, then who are you when you have a lot of money? Like, what does the wealthiest version of you think about? What do they speak about? What do they do all day long? What energy do they play into? Like, you literally get to decide, and every feeling is available to you. So it's like you've got to take yourself out of the reality where you don't have it and attaching all these feelings to not having it, and telling yourself that you can't feel into something without having it, because that's you operating out of your power again. And the lesson will always be, you can feel any way that you want to feel, so start feeling it now. That's how you reverse engineer manifestation. So it's like, get clear on the reality where you have it. Who is that version of you? What do they think like? What do they show up like? What's the energy that they're in? What are the thoughts that they think? What does their day look like? Like, the more clear you get on the version of you who has the manifestation, then you understand what it is. Or even just ask yourself simply, what feeling do I think I'm going to feel when I get that job? What feeling do I think I'm going to feel when I get that manifestation? Feel that way now. You know, like you can feel any way that you want to feel. You don't need something outside of you to feel a certain way. And that's having high emotional intelligence. So you just got to get clear on what's the reality where you have it already. Really focus in on that. If you want more help with that, like I literally walk you step by step through those processes in my manifesting membership. So I would just recommend getting in there. I'm starting to not even care about getting my SP. What does that mean? So there's a couple of different ways, but if you mean like not caring, like you're no longer obsessing and you're no longer dysregulating your nervous system and panicking and freaking out, and you're starting to live your life and you're starting to just be like, if it happens, it happens. Like, I know that I'm destined to meet somebody amazing. I know that I'm meant to be in an amazing relationship. And until then, I'm going to be good and I'm going to do the work on me and I'm going to love my life and I'm going to romanticize myself and I'm going to take myself out on dates and I'm going to go meet my friends and I'm going to love the fact that I have my own place to myself so I can watch whatever movies I want to watch at home and I can play my music and dance around in my underwear without anybody judging me, and I can eat a tub of ice cream out of the fridge if I get hungry at 10 p.m. because I can do whatever the fuck I want. Like, if that's what you mean, like you don't care, then that's fucking great. That's great because you're now surrendering to it. But if it's like you don't care because you feel defeated and you're getting disappointed and you're feeling like shit about yourself and you just feel like there's no good people and it's so hard for you and everybody ghosts you and everyone's a cheater anyway and well, look at them, they've got the perfect relationship, but they must be so miserable at home. Like, if you're being judgy, if you're feeling disempowered, if you're beating up on yourself, if you're sitting in sweats all day long, and if you're never like showering and just sitting with your hair in a fun bun, because why would you take care of yourself anyway? And if you're just ordering food out every single night because like, what does it matter? There's nobody there and I don't want to cook for myself because why would I just cook for me? Like, do you feel the difference in the energy? One person doesn't care from a really healthy, secure standpoint, and they're still living their best life and they're still taking care of themselves and they're allowing like their energy to lead and they're letting themselves have fun and like living their best life, while the other person isn't living. They're like feeling like shit and they aren't taking care of themselves and they aren't being healthy and they aren't allowing themselves to feel good and they aren't really loving themselves and they're starting to get bitter and they're feeling defeated. Like, it depends on where you're coming from. And with everything, there can be a healthy and an unhealthy. So it's like, you've got to use discernment there and see which I don't care camp you're in. And if it's the first one, keep dancing with your fucking underpants on and your ice cream box. If it's the second one, then we got to do some work, right? How can I manifest confidence? So in my manifestation membership, I teach you this and I don't give a fuck. Like, I had a client today be like, dude, that fucking program changed my fucking life. And I was like, I know, it's so good. But you have to realize, like, confidence is a skill that people build. It's built. So how do you get confident in something? You do it, right? So if it's something that you've never done before, talking. I've always been really great at talking, but when it came to being a coach and when it came to doing these live streams, like, I used to be like, oh, I don't know what to say. And I get so fucking distracted by all the moving things on TikTok. And it was like difficult for me to like just focus. And then because I'm so empathic, I would feel people's energy. It was difficult for me. But then I was like, well, wait a minute. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I know what to do. Like, I'm just going to stop being distracted by all the things. I'm going to just talk and then I'll look at the comments. So I'm not going to get completely thrown out. I'm going to get my energy right. I'm going to get my mindset right. And now like I can come on here for fucking all day if I wanted to. And there be no lack of confidence. But it's like a lot of the times we're not confident in something because we don't allow ourselves to do it because we're using the excuse that we're not confident. But how are you going to be confident in something? You got to do it, right? So it's like, what area in your life do you want to grow confidence in? Start putting yourself out there. Start taking risks. Start being afraid to be vulnerable. Start allowing yourself to make mistakes. Like, put yourself out there and then give yourself grace. Like, notice what didn't work, know what works, and like, just keep showing up. But it's like, how does a confident person talk? How does a confident person move? How would a confident person do this thing? What is the most confident version of yourself? Like, you get to build that at any time, but you've got to build it. So you've got to be able to like have some repetition in it. You've got to get practiced in it. You've got to allow yourself to like get out of your comfort zone, right? Because if you've always told yourself that you're not confident, and if you've always felt like you're lacking confidence and you don't do anything differently, then like, how are you going to grow confidence in any area, right? But then like the reverse with that is when you start doing things, you start feeling confident in something, then your confidence actually grows in all things because you're proving to yourself that you can do something. And typically that starts with doing something different. So like, what's the thing you're fucking afraid to do right now, but you know it would light your soul on fire? Do that thing. Be afraid to fail. Take messy action. Stop judging yourself. No one else is judging you that hard anyway. We are our harshest critic, and just like do the damn thing. Extract the wisdom, get better, and keep going. Grounding, healing, DC current from earth, going barefoot on earth a lot easier. It's energy too. Yeah, I mean, grounding is one of the best things. That's why I always laugh when people are like, we're going to go live on Mars. No, we actually couldn't, because our circadian rhythm is tied to earth. We are earthlings. Before we are human beings, and given that title by science, we are earthlings. We are tied to the earth and the people that are living in massive cities with polluted water and air population and noise, and like all of the things, like when it's like everything's contributing to it, when there's noise pollution, when there's air pollution, when there's water pollution, and people have no grass when they aren't going outside, when people are constantly on their phones when they're outside, when people are tied to all of these Apple Watches and they've got their headphones in, like people are disconnected from the earth, and that's when they suffer greatly, because that's a clear indication that they're disconnected from their inner selves as well. But grounding is one of the best things that you can do for yourself, so I recommend doing that as much as possible. I visualize, meditate, affirmations, have high vibration. That's amazing. Good for you, Luca. Powerful. Yes, yes, yes. Grounding, sleep better, wake up refreshed, healing, current. Yeah. That's the thing, is that grounding will always help you. You come back into your body instead of living in your head. All right, I'm going to get going soon, so I'm going to scroll through some of these comments because it's like the same people are asking the same questions. So let me just see if there's anything that we haven't talked about yet. Please don't go out and ask people for burgers. I spent a good deal of time bartending, and I fucking love bartending, but if I was bartending and you told me that you wanted a burger, depending on what state we were in, if we were in New York and I could actually be like, what the fuck do you want? Like, are you kidding me? I would say that. But like, don't be that person that's already being an asshole to people that are in customer service and in the food hospitality industry, especially in America. Like, if it's another country, at least they're getting paid well. But like America, they're still slaves. So let's not. Don't tell them that the girl was like, well, I could just order a burger. Use discernment. Oh my God, I've heard the opposite, because the universe knows what you want. So the thing is like the universe is just you operating from your subconscious mind. So like, you've got to get clear on what you want. Like, you've got to get clear on it, because who else is going to be clear if not you? The universe can do the heavy lifting for you, but you gotta do your part in the co-creation dance. It's the queen of manifestation. Oh, thank you. After you manifest for something, do you sit back and wait, or do you still physically keep working on it? Neither. You're never in waiting energy, ever. You are never in waiting energy in manifestation, ever, 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 ever. And then you can't go to the opposite extreme of that, where you're working yourself like and overworking yourself either. It's not about one or the other. It's about one, you're never waiting. It's about two, always getting your mindset in check, always getting your energy in check, always following the intuitive downloads, always taking action, and always living your life. Like, you're never just waiting for something to happen. You're always living your life. You're always putting yourself out there for people, places, and opportunities. And you're not working like hard. You're doing the work on you, and then you're living your life. Alexa, how about there are two guys manifesting the same woman? Neither of them can violate the woman's free will. Have you ever seen in a movie where two guys are going after a woman, and even if she really liked both of them, she isn't interested in either of them because of the way they're acting? Like, you can't violate people's free will. Stop listening to everyone as you pushed out fucking cult. If two people are manifesting one woman, it doesn't fucking matter. It's up to the woman. If she doesn't want to be manifested, she won't be manifested. Like, it doesn't matter. All right, I am going to go, you guys, just because I do have to feed the dogs and then let them out one more time before it's like completely pitch black here. But if you want help with manifesting, just get into my manifesting membership. You literally get access to all of the things. Like, you get access to 25 different programs. There's over 40 hours of content. You get access to a community, and you get access to a group coaching call. So the group coaching call will be on the 12th, next Tuesday, and there's going to be a meditation. It's going to be super fun. There's going to be some teachings. We'll go through some questions, and you get access to all of my programs. So literally anything that you need to know in manifestation, I teach you, and you can just click on the link in bio and join. If you want a single session with me, you can book that, or if you want to get into mentorship with a container, then you'll get access to all of my programs while you're in there, and you can find all of the links in my bio. Make sure you're following me, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.